All right. We got a fun one today, boys. Got the CFP sweatshirt on. Look, you can lose 51-34 and still be happy. It's fine. It's fine. No coping a week out, but yeah, I think this is a fun little slate. I got a little. I'm just gonna play this one team on FanDuel. Nothing crazy, so we'll go through it. Um, and then I've got I'm playing the Saturday kickoff. What's up, Warren? I'm playing Saturday kickoff this week because there's 7 games. Like I mentioned yesterday's show, I feel like with the 7 gamer, I've got more viability in 150 max to be able to take advantage by comparison to a 3 gamer where that viability is a lot more muted, right? Because, for instance, like I was high on Griffin Wilde. I thought Griffin Wilde was the second best play on Northwestern, and he outscored Komalafe. Um, so, in theory, if I was playing 150 max, I would have a Wilde team with Komalafe. I'd have a Wilde team without Komalafe. So, like, there was so much viability. Whereas on today's slate, with a 7 game shot, what's up, Patrick? There's less viability for everybody to be able to cover all the permutations, which gives me the capability to have an advantage. And given 7 games, the opt outs throughout the day, I'm kind of able to play in a different way. We really only, each. What I would tell you is this is going to be much more like a old school NBA slate, right? Where you have the 11 o'clock start and you're trying to see who's in and who's out for that one. Then at 1:15, same story, 2:30, same story, and they lock one at a time. So you're going to be on the news at right before a lock here, right before a lock here, here. Like it's literally going to be from, while we're talking all the way till 8 p.m., you're going to need to be abreast of what the news is for the entire day in order to do it. So that gives me a statistical edge, given the information I'm able to get by comparison to most. So we're going to break through what we kind of know already currently, and then we will break down everything else. So, all right. This thing's interesting. Like DK is very interesting, so I'm going to make FanDuel pretty quick because I'm only playing the one team, and I don't particularly want to play high stakes on this. I have some free play that is the only reason I'm playing this one, and it actually kind of fit together for me on FanDuel. Well, really on the whole slate, there's probably 6 viable quarterbacks. And they're really the top price 6 on FanDuel. You got King, Helms, Mestamaker, Wiegman, Bachmeyer, and Klubnik. I'm going to go on FanDuel with Helms and King. They have the most rushing upside. Mestamaker's not in play on FanDuel. I would say for me, Mestamaker's out. It would be Klubnik's in there, but they're kind of ranked in order of what I think they'll do. King, I think, plays the whole game. Bachmeyer would be ranked higher for me if I knew he was fully healthy because of the running back situation with both top 2 running backs being out. I think more goes on his shoulders, but I also think Georgia Tech probably wins that game and should be favored in this spot by comparison, even with Buster Faulkner not there, because Haynes King's such an old quarterback. It gives him an advantage in this spot. Now, the one thing I'm going to have to watch for on this is Ahmad Hardy active? Well, let's wrap quarterbacks real quick. Sorry. I'm all over the place today. Helms is going to run the ball like crazy. UConn, terrible stopping the run. We're going to get 25, 30 carries out of Helms. And who the heck wants to tackle a triple option in in the weather they're going to have. Weather's going to be an important factor today. Temps are in the 20s for this UConn Army game. Nobody's going to want to tackle an Army team, especially the backups for UConn with most of their team in the portal. Now, some of them are going to play, but that's more viable to the DK side, not the FanDuel side for me. Lucky Sutton, similar situation. It's going to be a good amount of rain in that North Texas game. So I like Lucky Sutton. He's pretty much the majority of that offense, and more stuff's going to open up for him with Bert Emanuel starting. Honestly, I think Bert Emanuel is viable. Is he good? No, he's not good at all. He can't throw. But the fact remains, this is a guy that I have seen drop a 40 burger on a Maction slate on a random Wednesday at Central Michigan. So it is possible he runs for crazy yardage. And even then, like, I'm not certain that Poffenberger doesn't get some run with Mestamaker. It's an interesting thing there. But for me, the top two is very clear of Helms and King. Hardy and Sutton is a very clear top two for me on this particular slate. I don't know what Katron Allen's going to do. I think Adam Randall probably plays, but how much does he split with Gideon Davidson? I don't know that Katron plays. I'm not going to play that it does play unless I get confirmation pregame that he is playing. Then I might have some interest. But for the most part, I think it might be Corey Smith as the top option for Penn State in this one. And then Cam Edwards says he's going to play. How much? I don't know. Not super interested in him in between these two. Noah Short's in play, but don't love it. You can't play either of Haynes or Hosley. The likelihood at running back for BYU is Enoch Nawahine ends up being the starter. That's more viable to DK for me than it is on FanDuel because you're going to end up getting a ton of value at wide receiver. And then Rayshawn Luke, we don't know if he's going to play. That puts some questions in there. Jordan Brunson's viable, but don't love it. And even then, I don't know that you'd want to touch anybody in that game at running back specifically. Hawkins says he's going to play. How much? We don't know. I think he probably ends up being overpriced relative to the amount of touches he gets in this spot. Jamari Taylor, I don't think is going to end up playing, but it's possible. I would prefer Hardy. If Hardy was out, Roberts ends up becoming a great play. Remember, UVA, when they lost Cam Robinson, became a bad rush defense. So they've been getting smoked on the ground lately. Hardy's already committed to returning to Missouri next year. Granted, Anthony Calandria said the same thing about UNLV, and now he's entered the portal. So I think Hardy probably is going to end up playing in this one. I feel pretty good about that. And then on the LSU Houston side, I think Dean Connors probably ends up playing. I think most of the Houston guys are going to end up playing in this spot. And then Caden Durham and Harlem Berry are your top two for LSU. But realistically, how much LSU do you really want to play given where they're at right now? So running back wise, it's pretty clear top two for me for Hardy and Sutton on FanDuel specifically. And then wide receiver wise, the tricky part with this build specifically is you're going to have to average out to about a 5,700 wide receiver. So TJ Moore in play for sure. Tristan Smith, like I would say on the Clemson side, it's TJ Moore, Tristan Smith, Tyler Brown as the top three. Tyler Brown, I have some history with. He was a key figure for me in that Syracuse game. I want to say it was 2 years ago when he was a true freshman, and he caught a crap ton of balls. So he's going to end up being a guy that I'm going to want to lean on because I just have some history, and I know he's a quality weapon with Cade Klubnik back there. Granted, let me refresh my weather. I don't love the weather. It is cold, but winds are light, and there's no snow on the ground for that Clemson-Penn State game. So I think it's viable, and we know Dabo has issues as far as he thinks this is probably the Super Bowl. And it's kind of funny that two teams we expected to play for the national championship are now playing in a bowl game before New Year's Day. So that is funny. I want zero exposure to the wide receivers in this Army UConn game. It just feels like a game where it's in the 20s. Army's going to end up just running the hell out of the football and just eating clock. It sounds like Fagnano's not going to play. Is that confirmed? Yeah, well, that's saying it from December 18th. There was talk they're trying to convince him to return. But, like, even then, we don't even know that Nick Evers is going to start. He might be in the portal, as far as we know. So I'm not going to play Skylar Bell. Skylar Bell says he's going to play. Maybe he plays a few snaps, but I don't see him playing very much in this one. Not super interested there. And you're definitely not going to play an Army wide receiver. And then BYU, Georgia Tech. I think Kingston Roberts and Carson Ryan are very viable. They're all the, Georgia Tech's defense is pretty bad. And Carson Ryan's alive for a touchdown. He's priced down. I think Roberts has a very tasty price on him. I'd expect him to have a pretty good game in this spot. Isaiah Canyon's supposed to be out. So Rutherford, Rivers being the preferred option. Jordan Allen has actually stepped up towards the end of the year, which was surprising that one of my guys was kind of hyping up the Dean Patterson angle. I don't hate the Dean Patterson angle, but I'm not super, super into that personally. On the Miami of Ohio Fresno side, it sounds like where is he? Hang on. There is a guy that could end up being interesting. Yeah, because hold up. This might change my opinion here. Where's Cam Perry? So Cam Perry is supposed to play today. He plans to enter the portal. He's apparently traveled with the team, from what I heard. Hang on. So this is one we're gonna have to look at, because at 4K, like, I would play Cam Perry over Cole Weaver in this spot if he was there, right? Because Cam Perry's the one in this offense. Cole Weaver's the two. But I was projecting originally that, we know Weaver's going to play. We don't know that Perry's going to play. Fresno, pretty bad on the back end as far as pass defense goes. Let me see. Yeah. So Fresno gives up like a good amount of explosive plays. They're one of the bottom third teams in the country at giving up explosives. If Cam Perry plays, it does make a big difference for me as far as the viability of that offense. Granted, you're also relying on Gutowski or Henry Hessen to be able to get the ball to him. So that does make a difference. All right. Just looking at news. Yeah, because we know Nick Singleton's out. I'm not certain on the. Okay, this is saying that Katron's going to play. The wide receivers are going to play, although I saw Pena was not going to play. But maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. I mean, this game just is odd at best. Yeah. Penn State's offensive lines opt out. Like, it's just, I don't know. Like, nothing is playing on the Penn State defensive side. That's a weird one. Yeah. There's rumors that Nick Evers is not going to play for UConn. Like, it's literally putting it down to like a freshman that's never played. So, yeah, no thank you. I want nothing to do with that. And then Cam Edwards is gonna shoot up, but how long is he gonna suit up for? You know? Skylar Bell, how long are these guys gonna play in this 20-degree weather if 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 Army's just playing keep away? Like, no shot I want any part of that. Yeah, that just doesn't make sense. Let's see. I Rayshawn Luke, yeah, maybe back. Not sure there. We just don't know about Cam Perry. Cam Perry is the interesting one for sure. And then it also matters too, because there was reports that Josiah Freeman for Fresno could be out. And if he's out, that does make a difference because this Miami of Ohio team has also been pretty not great at defending wide receivers. So I'm tempted. There is some guys. So like the quote from on the Josiah Freeman thing is that there's efforts ongoing for Josiah Freeman to get an extra year of eligibility. It's not necessarily a given that he'd spend the year at Fresno, but Freeman's still practicing with the team. He's expected to suit up. Whether he plans to try for the NFL draft, come back, or transfer, Freeman's availability may not mean he plays the full game as usual. Now, a couple parts to that. One, Ezekiel Avid is a solid option. Jaleel McClain, solid option. And then there's Harold Duvall. So Duvall is having a great month of practice, and he is well positioned to take the Freeman spot should Freeman sit out. That was a guy that, if not for Cam Perry, I mean, legitimately, if we had news that Cam Perry was in and Duvall and what's his face was out, Josiah Freeman, you could literally go double 4K wide receiver. And I wouldn't hate it. Like Duvall and Cam Perry in this spot for sure. But as it stands, I'm going to go with the safe options with those guys. I think Wyatt Young probably ends up playing. Dorner, Coleman, like all the big boys are playing for North Texas on the pass catching side for sure. So like it's just a very, very interesting slate here. See, like then you have like they have Lucky Sutton listed as a potential opt out, so like that's going to be a guy we need to look to. Like, what happens if Lucky Sutton doesn't play? It probably goes to. Let's double check just to make sure I've got my numbers right. Yeah, because I mean this North Texas run defense is absolutely atrocious. Oh, that's where I'm trying to figure out on DK. FanDuel wise, I think he's viable. Like I don't think you're gonna see Jamari Taylor. I think you have options in the back end that I'd rather just go to. Like I'm perfectly happy swapping off a Lucky Sutton to Dean Connors if I had to on the late game. I'd be perfectly happy swapping to Jamal Roberts if I need to from this spot. So like there's an opportunity cost with Randall. I don't hate Randall. Yeah, that's where I'm trying to figure. I'm gonna try to figure that out on now. The one guy that I'm going to talk about. So let me hit this. Yeah, I think I would prefer Randall slightly. That's where I would be. I think I prefer Randall slightly. I do like the game environment for Connors a little bit better. So wide receivers break down real quick. Don't touch an San Diego State wide receiver. I just don't trust Bert Emanuel to be able to throw the football. It's not his thing. Kevin Coleman might opt out. I don't think Trell Harris plays. Slot wide receivers have been where the most damage has been done between Missouri or on Missouri. So Cam Ross is my favorite UVA wideout, and it's not close. He's probably the only one that I'm willing to go to on anywhere. And then If Coleman's out, the other backup wide receivers are out as well. Do you really want to play a Missouri wide receiver? Probably not. If you were going to, it would be Olagbode. Both of the second and third wide receivers have now opted out. They're gone in Manning and whatever the heck the other dude was, Marquise Johnson. And then, like, if you look at, so that covers those teams, UVA and Missouri. LSU, or let's go Houston. Houston, I think Amari Thomas plays. It sounds like all of Houston's going to play. Amari Thomas is a good target. Tanner Koziel is a very good price tag here because LSU's missing so much on their back end and at the second level. And then LSU is its own right interesting because Trey'Dez Green's a fine play at 6.8, but Aaron Anderson's not going to play. Now, Kyle Parker also was the other guy that I debated with the Carson Ryan spot right here. I did debate putting Kyle Parker there. If you want stones of steel, I've said it from the beginning of the season. I've said it since last year. I said it since week 1, actually. Chris Hilton sucks in every game that's not a bowl game. But if you look at the bowl games, Wisconsin, and then last year, he eats. The rest of the season, he sucks. So if you want to have stones on you, like just stones of steel, throw Chris Hilton in a lineup. Like, he's terrible during the season, but the man absolutely dominates bowl games. So I don't know. Do I think he probably ends up sucking? Yes. I think you either get 30 or a 0. He either wins you the tournament or loses you all your money. So I think you just got to make that decision. I've said since the beginning of the year, since game 1, that I will be interested and willing to play Chris Hilton in the bowl game, and I'm not playing him until the bowl game. Well, now we're here, and I got to make a decision. So that's just kind of where we're at with that one. All right. Let's hit DK. It's DK time. I know what I'm playing on FanDuel, but I'm just going to leave that there. It's going to be a lot of swaps today, boys. Lots of swaps. So DK-wise, I think everybody's going to go to the Mestamaker shot at 4.5K. I'm going to have to play some of it because it's a legitimate thing that it could just destroy you if you don't play it. So he's in the pool. For me, it's King, Helms, Wiegman, Mestamaker, Bachmeier, and Klubnik. I think Helms is the safest of everybody, but I like Haynes King a good bit. I like Wiegman. I don't love Wiegman. I just like Wiegman. I think that BYU Georgia Tech game has shootout potential. So I do want some King. I do want some Bachmeier in case Bachmeier is healthy. I think Bachmeier has a monster ceiling. Bachmeier has the highest ceiling on the slate if he's healthy. So I will play Helms Bachmeier. I will play King Helms. I will probably play a King Bachmeier. I'll probably play Mestamaker Helms and Mestamaker King, Mestamaker Bachmeier. If I'm playing 6 teams, yeah, I have 6 teams. So if we formulate that out, you're talking I want a Helms King, Helms Bachmeier, Helms Mestamaker. Okay, and then I do want a King Bachmeier. That's 4. I want Bachmeier, Mestamaker, and I want a King Mestamaker. All right, that's the 6 I want for sure. So I'm not going to end up playing Klubnik. I debated that. I'm not going to play Wiegman. I don't feel good about that. I'll be honest with you. I don't feel very good about the fact of not playing Wiegman. I don't feel great about that. That's going to be a decision I'm going to have to make. I don't want to play Mestamaker. I'll be honest with you. I kind of want to come off of a Mestamaker team there. All right, hang on. We're gonna consider this. Let's consider this. So let's just say who who are you spending on if you go get Mestamaker? Because you're paying 4,500. So what do you get for it? Is the question. I like King Helms is my favorite. That's my favorite one. So let's go ahead and put Helms King in here in this first team because it's definitely my favorite. So we're gonna put that one in there. That's my favorite too. So I definitely want King and Helms for sure. I think Mestamaker is interesting, but what is he getting me? Because like I don't want to play. If you're getting Mestamaker, then I think you're gonna have to go Wyatt Young more than likely. Let me go see my notes on Wyatt Young. Let's see here. Oh man. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like on the Wyatt Young side, he could definitely opt out as well. I think he probably is going to end up going with Mestamaker. But if he plays, now Dorner's going to play. I think you end up burning one team at least on Mestamaker. And then maybe I end up changing my mind and going with a Wiegman team. I think I might end up getting off of one of these Mestamaker teams. There's too much. So, like, you're going to pay for Young, Thomas, Kingston. Like, those are the guys that you're pretty sure are going to play, maybe. But, like, who are you paying for? So let's build this out first. And then I'll try to figure out what I would end up paying for what it would get me with that. But I do know I want this. I don't have to stack either of these guys. I'm perfectly content with that. Running back wise, I just don't trust that Katron Allen's playing in this game, so I'm not going to play it. And even if he does, it feels like there's a legit possibility that he says, "Hey, yeah, I'm switching one of these Mestimakers out." There's just too much swirling around on everybody. I think everybody thinks he's a lock, Mestamaker, and I don't think he's a lock. Yes, he's mispriced at 4.5K. Yes, based on projection alone, he is far, far and away the best play on the slate from a projection standpoint. Yeah, most of Penn State's offensive line is not playing. That's why I don't like Katron Allen in this spot because I don't know. I think it's the legitimate. Oh, I'm not touching Penn State. Penn State has zero reason to want to play in this game. Dabo just has this mindset that says, I want to win this game, and he's going to give a speech after it saying they just won the freaking Super Bowl. Like, that's Dabo. Dabo wants to win this game. It's motivation. Penn State has zero want to play in this game. So they do not exist to me. There is a legitimate shot, in my opinion, that Katron Allen goes down, scores one touchdown, and we never see him again in this game. I think he maybe gets 10 touches. It's very possible. So I'm not interested in Katron Allen personally. Yeah, I mean, hey, by the way, if you need North Texas news, Brett Vito is their beat writer, and he is fabulous, by the way. Fabulous as a beat writer. Best news in the business. Best news in the business. I'm telling you. So Adam Randall is priced at minus 125 to score. I think Randall's in play. Yeah, I like Clemson. I don't love Cade, but I like the wide receivers and I like Randall. The reason why I would say Cade is not like like in there for me, I like Cade. I just think because of King, Wiegman, Bachmeyer, Helms, that's definitely my top four. Bachmeyer being the top GPP option as far as like the guy that could be the nuts that nobody thinks is the nuts. I think it's yeah, I would rank them Helms, King, Bachmeyer, Wiegman. And then I think it's the next tier is Mestamaker, Klubnik. I think Mestamaker goes over owned. And I think Klubnik probably doesn't have enough ownership, but the problem with Klubnik is all those other guys are runners. Yeah, exactly. Cade has no rushing upside. So I'm going to play the wide receivers because I know that rotation and I know that there can't be a soft opt out that hurts me on the Klubnik side, right? So let's just ignore Penn State. Let's just talk running backs first. I like Randall. I'm fine with it. I think that there is downside because of Davidson, and I think they probably get more of a split. But we would have thought that going into that South Carolina game, and he got 24 carries. So I don't think you can say I'm fading Adam Randall whatsoever, and I think he needs more reps too. So that's where I'm at there. I'm not in on Cam Edwards. I'd rather play Randall than Edwards. I think a soft opt out's in play for Edwards or a full opt out at any point. Noah Short should be in play, but I just would rather play Helms. There's too much risk at 5K. He's in play, but not a guy that I'm super into. LJ Martin's out. The only guy, like, they don't even have Sione Moa listed as being out, but he's out. So I'm not going to play Haynes. I'm not going to play Hosley. I don't trust either one of them. I'd rather play Haynes King. And then if I was going to play a running back, it's Nawahine. But man, it does not feel good. So I'm not going to necessarily recommend that. I know he has basically a 3x projection. He's 4K. If I had to punt a guy at 4K, maybe that's where I end up. I don't hate it. I don't love it because Georgia Tech's absolutely atrocious against the run. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Like Rutgers, hey, shout out my boy, the Greek Rifle, when I went all in on the Greek Rifle of all things. Love the Greek Rifle. But I mean, the thing is, you're gonna have to watch this and see who's kind of playing here. Georgia Tech is not good defending the run. So, like, if LJ Martin was in this one, we would lock him in on this slate at 6,500. Like, he would be a far better play than Adam Randall. So, I think you have BYU, random BYU running back is in play. I think Adam Randall's in place. From these first three games, that's where we have running back wise. I'm avoiding Fresno running back because it's a crap show. Brunson is in play if you need a 4,900 guy in that range. I'm fine playing Jordan Brunson. Not my favorite guy because Fresno's pretty decent, but he should get plenty of work. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. I love that Rutgers team. I mean, I really want to play a running back off of an 18.5 point team total? Not really. So, but I do have minimal interest. Brunson would be in the pool, but not a guy that I'm super interested in. I'm not playing Caleb Hawkins. Like, I think that that's what paying down for Mestamaker gets you is Hawkins. But you're talking about a guy who was banged up in the last game, facing a very good San Diego State defense. Now, granted, I think they have a bunch of opt outs as well. So he's healthy and ready to go. He was on a boot the previous time. I mean, this is like a top 20 San Diego State run defense. Literally a top 20 in the country run defense at San Diego State. You got no. I mean, maybe if Owen Chambliss is out, that would be a big deal for me. Um, Trey White, that would be a big deal for me. The edge rusher. They're both potentially guys that could go to Nebraska with the defensive coordinator. I love Cole. I love Coleman. Myron chugs on my heartstrings every week because he knows me. But the thing is like I still don't know. I don't mind Wyatt Young. I think it's fine play. I love this Lucky Sutton play though. So I'm in on the Lucky Sutton play. I know there's some talk that he might sit out, yada yada yada. I mean, it's going to be yeah, it's saying Wyatt Young, Cameron. I think Dorner's going to play. I think Myron, your best bet is Dorner. As far as if Mestamaker, but to me, if Mestamaker plays, you got to get Young. I think it's Young, Dorner, Mestamaker. I think you have to triple stack or double stack Mestamaker. Now that might be Hawkins. So if I play two Mestamaker teams, I'm probably going to end up with one with Hawkins on it because that's just saying that they all play. Let's see here. They're saying Chris Johnson's going to play for San Diego State. Man, it's tough. It's tough not to. I mean, look, the reason why you bet North Texas in this game is less about the defense and how North Texas is, and more about the fact that Burt Emanuel's starting for San Diego State. You know, yeah, yeah. I that's where I'm at. I think that's where I'm going to lean to. I definitely am going to want Lucky Sutton. Um, I do like Lucky Sutton a good bit in this spot. I think he gets 20 plus carries and is going to get me 15 to 20 points. He will be the offense, and it's going to help him find more holes with Burt Emanuel back there and running the football. So, what's up? What's up, Josh? All right. Other running backs. So, Jamari Taylor, I don't know who the chocolate running back is. I do like Trey Williams. So, we can talk about that. We could talk about that because Myron brought it up. I do like this Trey Williams play here. Um, he actually has been fairly decent for the better part of the season. I don't hate that at 3,700. He's extremely viable here. Let me see. I had some notes on him. So he's played over 85% of the snaps, and he's fourth on the team in routes run. So and he's high up with 5 receiving touchdowns. So he does have a ton of equity on the field, and he really hadn't left the field the last few weeks. So a lot to him there, personally. So I do think Trey Williams is a fine play if you want a guy that's on the field for sure. So UVA running back wise, I don't think he plays in this game. Ooh, Katron's now questionable. So if Katron's out, which is what I expect, or I expect a soft opt out personally, I'm not playing Katron Allen. I already know that I'm not playing Katron Allen. The starter for me on the Penn State side is likely Carson Smith or Corey Smith. That would be my projected starter for Penn State in that one. That would be the guy that I think gets the most work. Cam Wallace is not particularly the guy that I would think it would be. I would have thought it would be Quentin Martin, but it sounds like it would be Corey Smith as the top guy. I'm not particularly super interested in this Penn State offense, though. They're missing most of that offensive line. Granted, yes, most of Clemson's defense is out, but it doesn't particularly matter to me. So I don't think Jamari Taylor ends up playing in this one. That would mean Harrison Whaley ends up being the top back for UVA here. And he's fine. Formerly a good player at what Northern Illinois, good player at Wyoming. He'd be fine. But Missouri's got most of their roster playing in this one, so he would scare me. I think Roberts is a good pivot off of Hardy. Personally, I'm going to play Ahmad Hardy in this particular team. I think Jamal Roberts, if we get word that Hardy sits, then yeah, Roberts is a jam. But it's, you know, we're gonna get there, Myron. I do agree with that. I do agree with that, though. So Hardy, great play. That's my favorite two backs. This is my favorite two quarterbacks, and then Roberts, I think, is in play as a pivot option. Maybe Hardy doesn't end up playing the whole game, whatever. But they're gonna have a ton of rush attempts anyway because Matt Zollers is gonna start and he can't throw. So 20 pass attempts is probably the max you're going to see out of him. So I'd expect a run heavy game script. And Missouri, I mean, they can't really. They're going to run the hell out of the ball. UVA, since Cam Robinson's been out, has lost all their luster at tackling on defense. Running back wise in this one, Connors is in play. Because of all the opt outs, all the linebackers basically are out for LSU. So no Perkins, no Weeks brothers. So they're weak there. They don't have Halsey or Mansour Delane. So no All-American safety or corner. Secondary's down a little bit. And defensive line seems like it's fairly intact for the most part, but not super intact. I think Houston wants to win this game. I think LSU plays like they did in that Kansas State game where nobody played in that one, basically. It's going to end up being a weird one. So I have interest in Dean Connors. If you need a guy in this range, I think he plays. He's going to have a very good matchup out of the backfield because of the linebackers being out. So if you get him one-on-one with a backup linebacker, it's a really good spot for him. So I do like Dean Connors. We can continue to play our Houston, stuff that we've played all season. We like Weigman. We're going to like Connors. We're going to like the wideout, Amari Thomas and Tanner Kojal, right? That's the guys we've leaned on all season. I'm not going to stop now. Harlem Berry and Caden Durham would be the top two backs. Like, Houston has struggled a bit with the run game. Do I feel particularly good about it? No, I don't feel good about anything LSU right now. I mean, these guys are probably trying out to see where else they're going to go because realistically, Keywan Lacey's probably coming to Baton Rouge. And Houston's kind of meh at stopping the run. So they're viable. I would probably prefer. I mean, Durham's had such a lost season at this point. Does Durham get 15 touches is the question. If he gets 15 touches, he's scored it looks like every game he's had 15 touches. Nope. He missed it on that one and that one, but he's kind of been 10 points or more with 15 touches. I think I would prefer Durham to Berry, but barely. That's where I think I would be. I think I prefer Durham to Berry if I was going to make a shot. All right, let's start looking wide receivers. We got 5K. We got plenty of salary. That's for dang sure. That's what I'm saying. I don't think you need Mestamaker. If you want Mestamaker, it's because you're paying for Wyatt Young and Caleb Hawkins, and you're paying for the big boys. I don't think it's because you're paying for okay. I'm not going to play the Mestamaker King team. I am going to play the Mestamaker Bachmeyer team. I love Lucky Sutton. I think Lucky Sutton's a top 2 running back play on the slate. I think these are your top 2 backs on the slate, Hardy and Sutton. 20-plus touches apiece. Now, things will change. Like, everything's going to evolve. It's something I've been considering that eventually we'll talk about it. We got the drive for 500 subs going right now. We're at 340 something. So If we can get to 500, that gives me memberships. And I was trying to figure out what I would offer as memberships, but I think I would probably end up offering a paid Discord, or like a Discord that comes with the membership, that I can update things, because I kind of feel bad. Like, the one thing I'm missing is, like, if I'm at work, and or even then, like throughout the day today, like, I can't go, hey, this guy's out. Like, I had all the news yesterday, but I can't give it to, like, I can't go live from the office. Like, doesn't work that way. So what do I want this to be? So I'm getting rid of this team. This was King Mestamaker, but I think I want the Bachmeyer Mestamaker, but I don't think I want a King Mestamaker. I think I know what I want for that Bachmeyer Mestamaker, though. I think I've got that down. I think it's going to be a Bachmeyer double with a Mestamaker. I think I've got that down. Yeah. All right. So viability here. I'm not playing anybody from Penn State. I'm just ignoring it. They do not exist. So TJ Moore is in play 1000%. I think TJ Moore ends up probably being the chalk on the slate, if I was to guess. That would be my guess. I think TJ Moore probably ends up being the chalk. I'm tempted to go Tyler Brown. Tyler Brown is going to be replacing Antonio Williams in the slot. He's going to get a ton of target volume. And I'm going to look up that Tyler Brown game. What was that game? So he's a sophomore. What was the game? It was last year. Was it last year against Syracuse? Nope. It was 2023. I was right. Okay. It was 2023. The 2023 Syracuse game, I was all in on Tyler Brown for some reason. Don't know why. I guess it's because he was coming off of 2 decent games. This is his true freshman season. 9 catches, 153 yards at Syracuse, 1 for 23 rushing. I think we see something in the 6 to 7 catch range in this game, and it doesn't matter that Klubnik plays, doesn't play, anything. I like Tyler Brown a lot, so I'm going to play Tyler Brown as my favorite Clemson wide receiver. If you want TJ Moore, I don't think it's a bad idea, very much so at all. You know, I think Brown gets 8 to 10 targets in this spot, and he's one of the more proven players on this roster. No worries about weather for Clemson for me. That game in particular, they had snow late Friday night and early today, but it's all cleared out. They're going to have the field cleared, and the winds are light, temperature's cold, but other than that, it's just temperature. It's no wind, and snow's gone. So no worries for me there. That does not concern me too much. My weather guy says it's good. I say I'm good with it. So I have no issues. I like playing Clemson wide receivers. I don't mind playing Adam Randall. They have a 26-point team total, so I'm pretty okay with them. But granted, team totals don't really matter right now. So I think people are going to pay down. This is where I think it gets interesting. I think everybody, this is what I think happens on those Mestamaker teams. I think people play Skylar Bell with Mestamaker. I think people play maybe Katron Allen, but probably not now. But I think they play Caleb Hawkins. Like, I think they're playing all these high-priced guys with him, trying to jam him in like it's a regular season game. I do not trust Skylar Bell whatsoever. And y'all know I played the hell out of Skylar Bell for all of these games in here. Every time they were on a slate, Skylar Bell was my number 1 wide receiver. But for good reason. The kid's a stud. But the fact of the matter is you got no Joe Fagnano and probably no Nick Evers, which means the starting quarterback is going to be this kid, Kassan Farrar, who is a freshman with 1 career pass attempt and 2 carries. No, thank you. So I want nothing to do with any wide receiver in this game. Period. End of story. I think Army just controls the clock, runs it down their throat, and Helms has 30 carries and he's the best player in the game. It's not close. Like, I'm out. I'm making a stand. If Skylar Bell beats me, Skylar Bell beats me. Granted, that's famous last words, because I said in the Christmas Eve slate, if Pofeli Ashlock beats me, he beats me. He beat me. it was a risk, it was a risk. Well, these NFL teams keep building domes, then you're not gonna have to worry about it. That's the problem. I love a good weather game. Love a good weather game. Shady McCoy in the snow, single greatest snow player of all time. Kid's an absolute monster there. So this game is the target game for me. I think both teams play hard. Both teams are fun. I'm going to play a game stack in this one of Bachmeyer and King. I think there is a viable thing to say that Bachmeyer and King just go back and forth in this one, and I love it. I'm going to play a Weigman team. I don't know who I'm going to play with. For me, it's probably going to end up being Brown if I was to guess, but we'll see. It depends what relative value means, I guess, technically speaking. So I don't hate Carson Ryan at 3.8, but it's kind of a touchdown or bust. That's more of a FanDuel play for me is Carson Ryan, but I do like Carson Ryan. Yeah, exactly. Look at this. I got 1 hour to put these teams in. Well, I mean, the good news is I can adjust them after lock, but still, because I'm really not going to have a ton of Clemson, or I'm going to have no Penn State and a little bit of Clemson. So yeah. So did I put the FanDuel team in? Okay, good. Because I did that one week. I showed y'all a team that I was building, and then I didn't put the team in, and that was annoying. So yeah, I like Parker Kingston. I like Chase Roberts. I don't think either opt out. I don't know that I have a preference between the two. There's really no discernible difference for me between them. You could say Kingston's been better on the season. That's fine. I really do think you're going to see a potential, really heavy passing game script in this one. They account for like 50% of everything. So it's kind of hard to fade either one. I think you're going to need exposure to this passing offense. And I don't hate if you end up doing Carson Ryan. He's on the field a ton. He's pretty much the third guy behind Kingston and Roberts. So I do think you're going to need these guys. Roberts is I would call him more of the deeper threat guy. Like he can give you that 4 for 161 game. Whereas Kingston's going to be more of your high volume. I called it early in the season. Kingston is your Puka Nacua of current BYU. He runs the very similar role of Puka. And it's y'all might not remember Puka at BYU, but this is what he did. He ran this exact routes. Like it was everything short, get him the football. He was just hurt all the time. Very similar to Taysom Hill there. But Kingston's definitely the one that you would want to play. He's the preferred option. It's just, oh, yeah. Who doesn't love the Pop-Tarts Bowl? I mean, who doesn't love the Pop-Tarts Bowl? Like, if you don't love the Pop-Tarts Bowl, then I don't know what to tell you. It's just a thing of beauty every year, Like, who doesn't want to eat the Pop-Tart? And remember, the Pop-Tarts Bowl last year wasn't that was Iowa State and Miami. That was the Cam Ward half game, and then Rocco just ripping. So that game, and that was Jalen Noel, and I think Jaden Higgins didn't play. Jalen Noel did. Miles Coleman's always in play for me, but I'm a Miles Coleman believer. I'm a Miles Coleman guy. I think Cameron Dorner plays for sure. I don't know if Wyatt Young plays. I think Miles Coleman is in play, definitely. I definitely want pieces of this game. So I'm going to go Kingston in this spot on this team because I do like Kingston and I think he has some upside. But yeah, so we're going to do that. And that way we get a little correlation between King and Kingston. Kingston, Connors, Randall, Roberts. Ooh. Man, that's tough. So, Warren, you love to give me the hard ones. I'm gonna say I'm going to say Kingston Connors on that. I'm going to say Kingston Connors. So the reason would be is I prefer Kingston to Roberts. Oh, yeah, you already got Kojal. All right. We'll keep ripping. We'll think about that one. I do like that though. Yeah. I don't hate Randall Roberts, but I like Kingston Connors in a vacuum a lot better. And that team is so, stuck together. Now, granted, if London Montgomery, portal, AJ Green, portal, Shaz Preston, portal, Noah Rogers back in the portal. He stinks. Jackson Warren in the portal. Dallin Hayden, he sucks too. Drayton Dickman, meh. All right, anyway. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you have Kojal. You just got to look at it. You got to look at it as individual plays in this spot. The only thing that ever concerns me is like opt out wise. Like, does Connors opt out, and do you have a swap option if Connors opt out? But I don't think he will. But so Josiah Freeman may or may not opt out. Maybe a soft opt out. I'm probably not going to play Josiah Freeman. I do want exposure to Fresno State wide receivers. How I'm going to get that, I don't know yet. I'll talk you through what I'm going to think about it. So, Miami of Ohio is absolutely trash on the back end at DB. EJ Warner sucks as a quarterback, so I'm obviously never going to play him. And this is an awful team overall. I just don't like this team. Fresno State has been terrible. I've tried to play them the entirety of the season in different ways, and they are awful. The only viable option that I have managed to somehow end up playing and winning constantly with is Rayshawn Luke, but he's questionable. So I don't think any of the running backs are viable for Fresno State. And then wide receiver wise, it sounds like even if Josiah Freeman suits up, he probably won't play the full game. So now you're looking at Ezekiel Avett, Jaleel McClain, and then one other guy that I'm willing to take shots on. So McClain is fine. If you want to take a shot on McClain, I have no issues with that. I don't think it's a terrible play if you end up there. Because if Freeman's out, it opens up plenty of target share here. Do not make this I would tell you, Tyler Brown is a 10 times better play than any of these guys, but this is if you had to play both of them. Avett, fine. Like, okay play. If I want to take the shot of all shots, it's on the freshman, Harold Duvall. So he's been playing in Josiah Freeman's role in practice, and he's going to end up being a very good player for them. He's played very well in practice. So I have minimal interest in him as a breakout game, but it's not like I'm going there. On the Miami of Ohio side, we don't know if Cam Perry's playing. This is the other problem here. If Cam Perry plays, he's a lock, a stone cold lock at 3K because the kid's a stud. We know he traveled with the team. I mean, look at all these games. He could be. So you know how everybody's saying Mestamaker is the most mispriced player on the slate? Legitimate. Cam Perry could end up being the most mispriced player on this slate if he's active. So I think it's viable to have one of these guys in there. So let's just say, if he's out, Cole Weaver's the number one in this offense. Cole Weaver's definitely the safer play. So I have no issues if you drop in Cole Weaver. I probably will have some Cole Weaver in there. Cole Weaver fits in this team pretty well because then that would leave me 6K for so I don't hate playing Cole Weaver right there. It's very possible I end up doing that. I am a Cole Weaver fan. I thought he would be the one coming into the season. Cam Perry ended up being the one. Stuff happens, you know. Maybe Dorner ends up being the guy. We haven't gotten there, brother. We haven't gotten there. We're going game by game. We will definitely be talking about Eli Wood. Let me tell you. We are definitely going to talk about Eli Wood. Man, I'm tempted to. I don't want to plug Adam Randall in. That's the thing. I might go Dean Connors in this team. Do I want Dean Connors? If I had 6K left, I just don't love the 6K range. It's like I'm just off. But anyway, Weaver, fine play. Otherwise, I think Perry. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there is reports that Cam Perry is going to play. Last I've heard, Cam Perry could play. So there was reports that he was out. Now there's new reports that he's in. Let me pull that news because I actually do have it. Because even then, like Miles Coleman could not play. Like I think Dorner's the safe play for North Texas as far as like guys who are going to play at wide receiver or running back. I think Dorner plays the most. I mean, look, we get stuff wrong all the time. Keon Jenkins last night, I would have been wrong on, or I was wrong on, because he led them on the field. That was all the information I had. I wasn't able to watch it. Twitter saying Cam Perry's out. When is it from, though? Because the last bit of information I have from yesterday at 2:30 is the coach saying that Perry traveled with the team and planned to play, but they're seeing if that materializes. So like, oh yeah, at free plays. Let me see. Let me look up. I mean, what did Matt Gajewski say on his thing for Cam Perry today? I mean, he has guys on opt-outs that I'm like, not sure. So he has Cam Perry under opt-outs, but I don't know that Cam Perry has officially opted out. Let's go with the latest. Well, yeah, free plays saying that. Yeah, but see, like right underneath of it, Wayne's World of Sports Betting. I'm sure that's a reputable source too. It says starting wide receiver Cam Perry traveled with team. Like, I don't understand. I don't know. Maybe no. Like Stuckey is one to trust. So if you go down like Stuckey 2 from Action Network, he's been a long time college football DFS guy. According to various reports, at least 5 Red Hawks were expected to confirmed. You're going to lose some guys that everybody does at this point. I thought it was going to be 10. Okay. Martin said Perry traveled with the team and planned to play. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah. Yeah, I don't trust. So I'll just show you what I'm playing on FanDuel. Just FYI. I'm playing Helms, Hardy, Lucky Sutton, Tyler Brown, Cole Weaver, Carson Ryan, and Haynes King. If I get word that Cam Perry is a go, I might plug Cam Perry. Cam Perry's 4K, but it doesn't get me anything. Like, so I'll probably just stick with Weaver because Weaver's a good play whether Perry plays or doesn't play. So that's what I'm playing. I'm only playing one team on FanDuel. I didn't particularly like the builds, but it translates fairly well. I think Bachmeier's in play there. For me, it's King, Bachmeier, Helms, and Wiegman are the 4 that I'd be willing to play on FanDuel. And then cheap wide receivers are aplenty, you know. You got Kojal's underpriced on FanDuel. There's just plenty. I think Cam Ross is underpriced on FanDuel. And then if you want, I'm going to say this because well, we're going to get to it on DK here in a second. But yeah, we're going to get to that one. But yeah, I think Cam Perry's an interesting one. I don't know. Like I'm not necessarily going to play Cam Perry, but I might throw him on a team at 3K because in theory, in this one game, there's 2 3K guys that I'm willing to play, right? So Cam Perry would be the optimal guy that I'd want to play. But the secondary option to swap is Duval, the Harold Duval, right? Because if Josiah Freeman ends up being, I mean, the perfect option in this situation is Cam Perry plays. Worst case scenario, you would say, okay, cool, Cam Perry's out. And then you would hope Josiah Freeman's out. And then next thing you know, you throw Harold Duval in and you're covered, right? So you got both ends covered. Now let's look at this. I mean, San Diego State wide receivers don't exist. We're not playing them. If I was playing Mestamaker, I probably will play Dorner and Young or Coleman. Y'all know I love Miles Coleman. Don't get me wrong. I think everybody's going to buy a little too much into this 7 for 125. But every time I played him, he's had 7 catches and over 100 yards with a touchdown. But I do think it's potential he opts out and goes. But I don't think he opts out. I think if Mestamaker plays, Coleman plays because they went to high school together. They're too connected. I do like Trey Williams, but I don't think if you're going Mestamaker, the reason to play these guys is if you're playing Mestamaker. I love Cam Ross. I don't care if Trell Harris plays or doesn't. I love Cam Ross today. Absolutely love Cam Ross, which you already know. I know his price. Isn't it 4,500? I think it's 4,500. We're going to get there, but I think if I click that, I end up with Adam Randall, and I think that's what I'll play. So that's what I'm thinking, Myron. I think Bachmeier comes in super under-owned, and I love Bachmeier in this spot. I think Bachmeier ends up being my favorite quarterback play. 4.6? Oh, no. He's got to be 4.6 because that leaves me stuck at 6K, which is the same price. So I will tell you, I definitely prefer Cam Ross to Cole Weaver for Miami of Ohio. I would more so like to, what are we doing? I'm sharing the wrong tabs and stuff. I'm doing what I complained about people doing. Look, I'm just milking this time down, and I haven't even built one team yet. Not on DK. I had the FanDuel team built before I ever got on here. That's ridiculous. So North Texas wise, I think if you're buying into Mestamaker and you pay for Mestamaker at 4,500, you have to buy into that at least 2 of Young, Dorner, or Coleman get you there, or you're going to have to buy one of them with Hawkins. And I think Hawkins is viable with Mestamaker, and I will play a team like that, but I'm playing 2 Mestamaker teams out of 6. That's it. I do not trust Mestamaker today. I do not like the weather there. I think it's going to be a pretty heavy rain day there. The wind's light. The temperature's a little cold. I don't trust North Texas. Now, granted, the entire offensive staff is still there. Just Eric Morris is gone. How much of a difference does that make? I don't know. Last year, it was Mestamaker I played at cheap, and he started out of nowhere because Chandler Morris opted out, and the kid had never played, and yada, 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 and he went off. I think he had an 80-yard touchdown run that game. So I will play some Mestamaker, but I am not going all in on Mestamaker. I will play some, but I think he's going to end up being over-owned because I think what you're getting, what you can pay for with Mestamaker comes with its own set of problems. So the likelihood that a lot of the Mestamaker teams are legitimately going to have to leave salary on the table is high. If you know what I mean. That's where I would say. I think what people are going to do is they will make mistakes playing Mestamaker, and his raw points are what's going to matter and not the salary eventually. So what you're getting on a normal slate for a 4.5K Mestamaker makes a big difference. What you're getting in a bowl slate for a 4.5K Mestamaker is a lot of potential problem. So that's why I don't love Mestamaker. He's not the jam that you think he would be because it's bowl season, not you know, not the regular season. Regular season, I mean, just lock 100% lock because you need the value, right? The value means more because you're getting gains at every other spot. On a bowl slate like this, you're not getting gains. I think Trell Harris probably sits out. Not super into that play anyway because Missouri's pretty good on outside wide receivers. It's slot wide receivers such as Cam Ross, former James Madison Duke. Congratulations, you managed to not make the playoff and go play for a team that's not as good. Good for you, buddy. So Ross was second on the team in targets and everything. You saw it when Trell Harris was out at the end of that ACC championship game. It was literally Ross getting peppered, and 3 of the last 4 wide receivers to leading receivers to face Missouri have played in the slot. That's where Ross lines up about 90% of the time. So I think Cam Ross is a great play. He's my favorite UVA play, and it's not particularly close. I don't think Jamari Taylor plays. I don't think Trell Harris plays. I'm not going to want to tie up the salary on Jamari Taylor on that late game because there's no good pivot. So you're wasting salary when I think it's probably a 60 to 70% chance that that Jamari Taylor doesn't play. Eli Wood, I'm also going to like. Now, if no Trell Harris, then Wood was straight away the guy who came in for Harris and was a 1-for-1 replacement. I like Eli Wood at 3.3K. I will have interest if we get word that Trell Harris is officially out. He would be a good punt option later in the slate at 3.3K. I have no issues going there. No issues whatsoever. On the Missouri side, I don't think I will really want to play anybody. UVA's secondary does not particularly scare me, but I think I'm going to end up playing Weigman and something. I don't know what yet. Oh, I can play Weigman King. I do love Haynes King. All right, we'll do that. So, yeah. Play 2 Mestamakers, 1 Weigman with a King. Sorry. I was just staring at that 6th team trying to figure out what I wanted for quarterback because I'll be able to put the rest of it together pretty quick. So Kevin Coleman could play, and that's fine. It doesn't really matter. All the rest of the wideouts opted out except for Oleg Bode, which I believe is probably due to the fact that they all got passed up, such as Manning and Marquise Johnson. I think Chandler Morris is going to play. I think Chandler Morris does end up playing in this one. I'm just at 8K. He's an awful play, which, I mean, if anything, you're hoping he played. Although I thought Daniel Kalen played okay in that weight game. I thought he was okay. He wasn't great, but he was okay. He can sling it enough that it's not going to kill your wide receivers for sure. Not that Chandler Morris has actually been playing good either. So I think Coleman he might play, he might not. I'm not super interested because I don't think Missouri throws it more than 20 times, 25 at the max. So how many completions are you realistically going to get? Probably like 10, 15. And I think Coleman gets a good fair share if he does play. But Oleg Bode is the future, and he's definitely going to play. So I do have interest in him at 3.7 if I had to take a shot there. But I don't think I need to. So I'm not super into that one, but I will go there if I have to. I do think this game is slightly underrated. This is a fun game. I'm going to enjoy that UVA Mizzou game. All right. Now we're about to talk about elephants in the room. There's an elephant in the room, boys. So, a couple things. One, if I'm playing Weigman, I probably end up playing Amari Thomas. Perfectly content playing Amari Thomas. If he plays, I'm happy with it. No Mansour Delane to shut down the wide receiver position. No AJ Halsey, which is kind of interesting because I'm somewhat surprised that Halsey won't play given that it's against his former team. Now, there is risk that Amari Thomas sits out. There is risk. It's not without guarantees. But reporter asks Thomas what he wants for Christmas. He said 96 yards so I can get 1,000. I love a good narrative. My man wants 1,000 yards. So I'm going to play some for sure. I'm playing some Amari Thomas, and I'm tempted to have him in this spot right here because now I got 4.3K left, and then I'd be able to figure something out. I'm tempted because I really like Amari Thomas. I mean, the kid's been absolute beast for me. I've done very well on the Amari Thomas train this season. So I'm in. And on that Weigman King team, you best believe Thomas is going to be on it. Dean Connors might be on it. I do like Dean Connors today too. I like Kojal. You want to play Tanner Kojal? You go right ahead because the man can catch 5 to 7 balls. Remember, all the linebackers are out for LSU. Some of the safety, at least one of the safeties, and Halsey's out. So I think Kojal could eat here too. Y'all know I love a Weigman Kojal stack. Maybe I end up on like a late slate being able to play that. I got 41 minutes to lock up 6 teams, and I've built a single one. We're just start ripping teams here in a second. And then I'll make some decisions. But this is where we're at with this one so far. So that's the only 2 guys I'm willing to play on the Houston side at wide receiver. They're the guys, they account for more than 50% of the offense. There's other guys that are out there, but they don't catch balls. They're not targeted, so I'm kind of out there. Now, LSU side. Trey Green, you want to play him, go right ahead. He's a touchdown guy. I think he's a better play on FanDuel than he is on DK. Van Buren starting again. I mean, they're pretty bad against the tight end, Houston is. So if you want to play Trey Green, that's not the worst bring back in the world. Barry and Brown sounds like he's going to suit up. Aaron Anderson is not going to play. Xavier Thomas will suit up. He's fine. Like, he'll get a good amount of volume. He kind of gets scheme touches. He's fine. He's fine play. I don't really want to play Barry and Brown. Not a fan. Kyle Parker had played pretty well in the games that Aaron Anderson has missed. So Parker's a fine replacement option at 3.6. He's perfectly capable. I'm going to bring this up again. I mentioned it while FanDuel was on, but there's more of you in here now. So there is one individual that during the first week of the season, I said, I will not play him until the bowl game. And at which case, I'm going to have to consider him. There is an individual who, during the season, consistently sucks. But in bowl games, he's a monster. If you have stones on you, just an absolute set of stones, and I'm not saying I do, but I'm just saying, if you got stones on you and you want 20 points out of nowhere, 30 points out of nowhere, or you want a 0, play Chris Hilton. Because I might not be man enough to do such a thing. But man, if you do it and he does what he's done the last 2 years in bowl games, you are the hero, sir. Do I really want to burn money like that? I don't think so. I don't think I need to. But man, is it tempting. It's so tempting because it's like confirming your priors, you know? I'm very tempted to confirm my priors here. I want to. I don't think I can, but I think it's hilarious if you do. I do think it's hilarious if you do. I don't know. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can do it. This is an interesting spot right here because you've got the Weaver, Ross, Dorner and TJ Moore combo in here. That's interesting. That is a very interesting spot. That Weaver Ross Dorner spot. I feel like Dorner. I feel like if you play Dorner though, here's the problem. I think if you play Dorner, you're like so like if I play Dorner in this spot, I think it's a sub EV play because that means Mestamaker's going to have to get there. Like, is it possible for Dorner to be a part of the winning team without Mestamaker getting there? And I don't know that that's possible. So like, I'm not playing any of those guys. That's fine. I will play Hawkins on one team, but it's going to be a Mestamaker team because Hawkins actually catches the ball well and explosive. So I will play a Mestamaker Hawkins team, and I don't know what wide receiver I'm going to play with that though. Best flight 4,600 or less. I want to say Cam Ross. So right now, before pre opt outs or anything, I would say Cam Ross. Pre opt outs. He's the safest because he's going to be the number one for them, and they're going to have to throw the ball. Be my guess. I think he ends up with 5-7 catches. I just don't like stacking Haynes King. That's my problem. Yeah. I just don't like stacking Haynes King. I never do. Never like it. What do I want to play? I'm tempted to play this. Like, I'm tempted to play this Amari Thomas and Xavier Thomas combo. I actually kind of like that because of the target share that Xavier Thomas has, like 5'6", 6'3". Like, I really do like how he closed the season as far as target share goes. Has some explosive capability. No Aaron Anderson should open up more targets for Xavier Thomas. And then I can play Amari Thomas with him, who needs 96 yards for 1,000 or 94 yards for 1,000, whatever. He's really going to want that. I'm really tempted by that, and then avoiding the Adam Randall situation, which I like Adam Randall, the player. I was debating it. Do I want Adam Randall or Dean Connors? So if I went Randall, I was kind of going to end up in the same spot. Like, I don't want to play Rutherford. I understand the Rutherford thoughts, but I just, man, I'd rather just play Cole. I wanted to play Cam Ross or Cole Weaver. I do love Cole Weaver as a player. I could play Caden Durham at that point. Well, no, I can't play Caden Durham. So that's the problem is, like, at that point, I'm going down to Xavier Thomas anyway. So if I was playing Xavier Thomas, I'd rather play Amari Thomas than Adam Randall. And then same vein, I thought about, all right, well, do I want to go down to Dean Connors? And then that gives me 5K. I like Kojul. I don't mind Short, but I don't want to play either one of them in this spot because I don't want to play I don't particularly want to play those two together. So then you kind of end up, all right, do I want Brunson? But realistically, TJ Moore's the best play after that. But I don't want to play two Clemson wide receivers in that spot. And then now you end up on Dorner. I don't really love that. Dude, my problem on the New Year's Day stuff is I don't like that there's not New Year's Day stuff. I really don't like it. I really don't like the way the bowls are set up. I don't like that there's 3 games on New Year's Day. I really don't like it. It's not a fan. I think I'm gonna play this. I actually really, really like this as my number one team. So we're gonna play that. We're gonna play Xavier Thomas. I sold myself on the Xavier Thomas stuff. I'll be honest. I didn't think I was gonna sell myself on it. I know I like Amari Thomas, but I think I sold myself on that. Um, yeah. I know I'm not trying to yeah, I'm not trying to jam Xavion Thomas. I don't want to play a ton of Xavion Thomas. I'm not fading Mestamaker. I'm going to play 2 out of 6. So I'm going to play 33%. I want to be under the field. I think the field ends up at 50% Mestamaker. Um, yeah. I don't want to play Mestamaker, I'll be honest. I do want to fade him completely, but I think it's irresponsible to fade him completely. So that's kind of where I'm at with the Mestamaker thing. Man, everybody ended up on the same thing? Was everybody got the same lineup? Dang, didn't somebody just ask that? I'm just trying to see if somebody actually asked that. Or no, it was Kingston and Connors versus Randall and Roberts. Everybody's on that. I like Connors and Cam Ross better than Chase Roberts and Kojal. Slightly. But I understand the Cam Ross stuff. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Who's starting BHE? Who's starting which position for UConn? Quarterback? You talking quarterback for UConn? Let's see. In fairness, we really don't know, but I think Nick Evers is going to be out. Yeah, I think it's either going to be Nick Evers or uh oh, hello. We have hot news, boys. We have hot news. All right. That's interesting. So now I have a new play that I want to put in there somewhat, but I don't trust it either. All right, so we're going to do a why is Klubnik listed as questionable? He's playing. Yeah, he's going to play. I don't understand why he's questionable. It's kind of ridiculous. All right, let's see. I want a Bachmeyer team here. Question is how does Bachmeyer or how do I guess? Well, I guess Bachmeyer could get there if they run the football well. Maybe Malachi Hosley or something like that. All right, so UConn quarterbacks here. We'll go through it. This kid, Kassan Farrar, he's going to end up being the starter, freshman. Yeah, I think I'm taking the stance that I'm just fading UConn today. Be honest with you. So hot off the press news here. Clip of the coach. So Martin and Moa are out. We know that for BYU, which is why I kind of like Bachmeyer a good bit. But I think I'm going to take a shot or two on a particular running back. Most projection systems are going to say Enoch over here is going to be the starting running back. They say they're going to give 3 running backs the opportunity to play. It's going to be Enoch. It's going to be Preston Rex, which we know what Preston Rex is. It's not good. So no concerns there whatsoever. He's a 2-yard a carry guy. If he's the guy starting, then Bachmeyer is going to eat. And then finally, the last guy that's going to get in here is this kid, Jovessa Damuni. Now, offensive coordinator in his press conference said, I'm especially excited to see Jovessa play. It's time to find out who he is. I like that. So I'm going to take a shot on that kid. He will be in a team for me. And I am tempted. I am actually tempted to put him in that main team. I know I'm tempted to put him in that main team. Do I want to put him in over Xavion Thomas in that team? Probably not. But I will have him in an A team for sure. So if we're going Bachmeyer, I do want to play. I'm going to play Kingston and Roberts on this team. Okay. And then I want Hardy and Lucky Sutton. And that gives me 4,400 per player. I could go 3,400 for Tyler. I could go Tyler Brown and nothingness because there's a bunch of trash there. Otherwise, I would have to go Dean Connors at 56. Don't hate that. So I could go 56-32. So it'd have to be 32 or under. Do I want to play Dean Connors that bad though? Or would I rather just play? Because I am not playing. You know what fits perfect, and I don't want to say it, but Dean Connors and Chris Hilton. I'm not playing that. Let's be honest. I would be a fool if I played that. Let's see here. I think you end up with like, I think you're going 2 wide receivers in this spot. So I think you're going with like a Smith or no, let's go TJ Moore. I think TJ Moore makes a lot of sense at 4,800, and that's going to give me 4K, which gives me some options because I can go with McLean. I can go with Coleman. I mean, Cam Perry would be lovely. Then you go Cam Perry, Dean Connors. Maybe I end up getting some news on that, and that's what I end up swapping to. So let's go. Let's go. I'm going to go TJ Moore here, and that's going to give me some options at because like 4K running backs, it's literally only the BYU guys. But you would have the option to swap to those guys if you wanted to. Yeah, I mean, there's options there. Hang on, I had to go to my main page. Thank you, PJ. Shout out, PJ. That's right. Give us those turquoise-owned ball caps, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to have some. I'm definitely going to have some. Trey Wisner in the portal, aka y'all all know what's happening here, right? This Trey Wisner portal stuff. Every single guy for Texas is in the portal, and you wonder why. That's what I'm saying. So, like, I don't want to go double stack. I could, technically speaking, go Carson Ryan in one of these spots and get a good running back here, or get somebody here like a Thomas. So, like, I could go Carson Ryan over Chase Roberts. That saves me 1,800, which then gets me 5,800, which would get me like Dean Connors. So I could go Carson Ryan, Dean Connors, or you could go Chase Roberts and insert 3,900 wide receiver or whatever. So you could go like Coleman. I don't think Coleman's the worst play. Or no, yeah. So that's the question: is do you want Chase Roberts or do you need to even double stack Bachmeier? That is a different question, actually. I guess technically speaking, I don't think you need to. That's not incorrect because I could go down there and then I would have 4,900. So I could go Dorner and Ross. That's kind of fun because Dorner's going to play. Ross is going to play. I don't think Dorner Ross is the word. I don't think you need Bachmeier. I think Bachmeier, if Bachmeier gets there, it's with his legs. So give me Dorner Ross. I think that's fun. I like that more. That gives me some options later too to be able to swap. That gives me Dorner. That way, if Mestamaker doesn't play, then I get the Dorner points because I think Dorner's the safest wide receiver to play for North Texas. And then I like Cam Ross in this spot to be able to get a ton of volume, more than likely. So I feel pretty good about that. All right, cool. All right, let's share this. Let's submit that. So Bachmeyer Helms. I do love Helms today. All right, let's update that. I got 23 minutes to rip these suckers. All right, let's go. Oh boy. Okay. We're going Helms Mestamaker, boys. We already know where I'm going with this. Let's see here. I already know where I'm going. All right, I'm playing Hawkins in that case. I'm playing Wyatt Young. I'm gonna play Hardy. Yep. Hang on. I gotta play Sutton there. Sutton. I mean, look, everything's gonna change anyway if these guys don't play, but they're the guys that I feel the best about playing. So if they don't play, I'll figure it out. All right, Wyatt Young. I get a triple there. Then we can go Brown. I like Brown here. And then I mean, look at that. I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's what you're paying for. That's literally the only thing you're paying for. And then I can go Cam Ross here. Bang, done. Like that's what you're paying for if you get Mestamaker is just for this. Just for this is the only thing you're paying for. The only reason to play Mestamaker is to play Hawkins and Young. That's it. It's literal only reason. Oh, Darren, you want safe plays? I mean, you're gonna probably get burned. I would say Brown. Helms is the safest play on the entire slate as far as not opting out because he plays for Army and Army doesn't do opt outs. So Helms is by far and away the safe play. I think Haynes King is a very safe play. So Helms and King would be my top two quarterbacks. Oh man, running backs. All right, here I'll show you what my safest team would be. I'm not saying I'm playing it, but I'll show you what I would play. It would be King and Helms. It would be I would play Hardy because I think you're gonna have to have Hardy. Because like Noah Short's safer, but he doesn't have the upside. I tell you what, we're gonna do this. If I was you, I'm gonna play because I know this kid's gonna play. Damani. I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play Thomas. I'm gonna play Kingston. I'm gonna play. Do I want more? Yep, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play more. I'm gonna play Ross. That's what I'm gonna play. If I want the safest possible team of guys that I think are gonna play, and I'm pretty certain it's that. It is definitely that. For me, for sure. All right, let's game stack this sucker. Let's game stack this sucker. I'm gonna play Bachmeyer, King. I really do want to do that, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna play Kingston. You know what? Actually, give me. I'm gonna play Javasi or Damani on this. Do I want to play Damani on this? I think I'm gonna end up playing Damani on that last team for sure. I know I want that. Question is, do I want a guy with Haynes King? Like, do I think Haynes King can throw for 302? I guess he can. I mean, he's thrown for 200 plus multiple times. Let's get my running backs in first. I'm going Hardy. I'm just gonna lock in these guys because I just don't like. Yeah. Let's see here. I may end up on Connors on this. Hardy, Sutton. I may end up playing 3 running backs here. Canyon's out. Canyon's out today. For sure, Canyon is out. So definitely do not play Isaiah Canyon. Yeah, he's definitely out. Let me see where that is. I have that news somewhere. Let's see here. Yeah, Isaiah Canyon's considered doubtful according to Brent Key. So it's going to be Rivers and Malik Rutherford on the out like, as two of the starters, obviously, and majority of the targets. And then you're going to have Dean Patterson slash the other kid who's been playing an annoying amount. Um, where's he at? Not Harpering. Where's that kid at? Nope. Maybe he's not on here. Was it Stockton? Bailey Stockton? I mean, he's been playing a little bit more. But yeah, I don't think Patterson's can play a ton. He hasn't had to catch him forever, so it's not Patter. It's not him. Jordan Allen, this kid. Jordan Allen's played a lot more lately. So I would. He's another good punt option. Jordan Allen. He's played a lot more lately. I think he ends up being the guy who plays a little bit more than likely. That's where I would lean to, but that's just me. You know what? I think I'm going to play Connors. Clemson wide receiver. I'm going to play Tyler Brown. See, this is the one I hate. This is where I end up every time. Every single build I make, I end up on 4,500, and I hate 4,500 wide receiver. Why is it I keep ending up there? And now look, everything screams you should do this at this point. I'm gonna do it. Cleveland. We talking Cleveland? Cleveland Browns? I could not tell you. I'll be honest with you. I'm more of the Jovessa Damuni guy. Oh, Clemson. Oh, I thought the Cleveland Browns might have been playing. Yes, allegedly Adam Randall is playing. Let me do a Google search. Nope, nothing. Or I mean a Twitter search here. Let me get Adam Randall. I think Adam Randall's going to play. Is there risk that he ends up partially, not playing a full set? Maybe. But yeah, it looks like Adam Randall's going to play. His prop is 66.5 over under. Whoa, hang on now. Might have moved though. So FYI. Yeah, it was 66.5 though, but there was some talk about 40. I do not want. Oh, I love Army quarterback. Helms is my favorite quarterback on the slate. I know he's going to carry the ball. I know it's cold, and I think UConn sucks. I think if Katron Allen plays, he doesn't play much. I'm just not going to play Katron Allen. I'm choosing to stay away from that personally. I'm going to play this team with King and Bachmeier. I think King and Bachmeier have two of the highest upsides on the slate, but Helms is my favorite quarterback. I love. Did you see the video? I think the only way you're getting to Hawkins is if you play Mestamaker, and I'm doing it once, but I'm not. I'm doing it at least once. I already did it in the last team I built, but I don't love. I don't love it. I'll be honest with you. I don't love playing Mestamaker, and I don't love playing Hawkins, given that they were banged up, and Hawkins is going to go play somewhere else very quickly. But this is going to be another Mestamaker team, so. But I think it's a possibility that I don't love the weather in that game with the rain. I think Mestamaker ends up being far too owned. I don't like it. I don't like it whatsoever. Now, granted, I'm not going to play Mestamaker on this team because I don't want to. I'm going to play Adam Randall. I'm going to play Ahmad Hardy. God, I'm not going to play Ahmad Hardy. I'm going to play Lucky Sutton, and I'm going to play because the other part of it is like the Mestamaker side. They're not there. I love. Oh yeah, Sutton and Hardy are my favorite two plays on the slate, but that's because North Texas sucks at stopping the run, and both teams, UVA sucks at stopping the run now. Now that their quarterbacks are, man, I still got to build one more team after this. But yeah, they both suck at stopping the run. I want Amari Thomas. I want Parker King. Oh yeah, I kind of like the way this is going to build out too. Oh yes, this builds out perfect. Yes, look at this. Oh, double stack, double stack. Yes. Oh, I love the way this built out. Now, granted, I think Mess to Maker naked is an absolutely atrocious play. FYI, I think it's mentally challenged to play this. I think it's absolutely dumb as sin. Um, but I'm going to do it anyway because I think that there is viability in the fact that maybe Mesta Maker somehow throws touchdowns to like 4 different wide receivers. But yeah, I think they're good at getting workload. If Sutton plays, now if Sutton doesn't play, obviously I'm going to swap. I'm going to make swaps, you know. I'm going to make a Wiegman team after this one. This is my last team is going to be Wiegman and Haynes King. I do want a Wiegman team. Oh, dude, Lane Kiffin loves his stuff. His his yoga, let me tell you. Yeah, because I've got 12 minutes left. And I actually have far less Clemson wide receiver than I thought I was going to be. Oh, no, it's all good. It's all good. Skylar Bell is allegedly playing. They might or are likely to be down to their 4th quarterback. And it's a true freshman who would be making his first start. And he has 1 career pass attempt. Oh yeah, you get. I did. So I paired him once on. I'm playing Maker on 2 teams. One, I stacked him with Caleb Hawkins and Wyatt Young. I think Wyatt Young's a fine play. I think Cameron Dorner is the most likely guy to play. So I have no issues playing Cameron Dorner. Cameron Dorner's is the safest wide receiver for me on the North Texas side. But assuming that Maker plays, I'm assuming that Caleb Hawkins plays, and I'm assuming that Wyatt Young plays. Because the only reason, other than the team I just built, that's why I tried to build something completely different. Because is it possible that Maker plays and Wyatt Young and Caleb Hawkins don't play? Because what I think happens is every team, the only reason to pay down for Maker is to get Hawkins or get Wyatt Young. Otherwise, you're paying for Skylar Bell and Jamari Taylor, both of which I think at best are soft opt-outs. All right, hang on. I got one team I got to build. Let's see. I want Haynes King and I want a Connor Wiegman team. I do want that kid. I want the cheap guy. I'm playing Demooney. I don't even know how to say this, man. I'm not playing Skylar Bell. I love Skylar Bell. I have played Skylar Bell all season. I have cashed all the time. I am not playing him in a 20-degree game where I think Army just holds the ball for 3/4 of the game. I think Cale Helms is a monster play. I just don't think we do not know if so there's 2 parts to that, Jason. We don't know that Maker's going to play. They're saying he is. We don't know he's going to play, number 1. Part 2 of that is we don't know that even if he does, oh, no, it's all good. We don't know if, Cam Wallace plus 120 to score a touchdown. So they're saying Cam Wallace is going to be the starter. I personally think Corey Smith's going to end up being the running back. That's my opinion. But yeah, we don't know who the starter for North Texas is going to be whatsoever. I don't like that line on that touchdown right there. Corey Smith, then Quentin Martin, then Cam Wallace at running back with Penn State's primary offense. No Nittany Lions back, not named Katron Allen or Nick Singleton has touched the ball since September 17th. It sounds like Corey Smith is the one who's the starter, then Quentin Martin, then Cam Wallace. So I would say Cam Wallace at plus 120 to score a touchdown. Bad play, FYI. Would not play that. All right. Shit, I got 8 minutes to build this sucker. All right. I know I want Amari Thomas in this spot. All right. I really do kind of want Kingston in this spot as well, but we're gonna have to wait and see. So give me let's just say this is not a Lucky Sutton team. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. What if it was a Lucky Sutton team? What would it be? Let's just say it is. Let's play it's an Adam Randall team. What if it's an Adam Randall team? Well, then I got to go double Clemson, and I don't really want to do that. It sounds like all those running backs, by the way, for Penn State are going to play. That's right. That's right. Do I want that to be Dean Connors or do I want that to be the Kojal? It's either going to be Connors or Kojal. It would be what I would do. I definitely want a double. I would go. I mean, Darren, that is the disgustingest of disgusting questions. I would lean DeMooney. But that is pure shot in the dark stuff. Like I don't have a team. I have 2 teams with DeMooney now. What time? I got 7 minutes for this stupid game starts. I cannot believe I'm gonna even. I'm not considering it. I can tell you that right now. I am not considering it. But yeah, I'm not. Like I said, I'm not touching Keyshawn Allen. At this rate, 4,400 or less, I would consider it. Man, I mean, I think it's pick your poison. I think you have to decide, do you want to play like a Xavier Thomas at 4,200? By the way, I can do this, and I'm going to do it. Well, I've played some Xavier Thomas. I think it does make a lot of sense. He gets enough targets, no Aaron Anderson. I think Xavier Thomas is a fabulous play. I also think that I like Tyler Brown. He hasn't had a particularly good season, but he's replacing Antonio Williams with Klubnik in the lineup. I think Brown's a fabulous play as well. So then that gets me 6,900. I do like Brown, but I don't think I need to play Brown. Do I want to play Brown or do I want to play Kingston or do I want to play Randall? Because like the answer here, yeah. I want to. In this spot, I want to play Hilton. I want to play Hilton right here. I don't have the stones. I told y'all I don't have the stones. Hilton makes so much sense right here. Hilton makes so much sense, but it doesn't buy me anything, right? Because if Wyatt Young plays, like, it doesn't make any sense to me. So, like, I would have to come off of this. I'd have to come off of Kojal probably. I'd have to probably not play Thomas. Yes, you can play Chris Hilton if you got stones and a half. I just don't. You can play Chris Hilton, and you need to keep an eye. I have 5 minutes to put this team in. You can play. So there's 3K, 0. I love the Xavier Thomas bring back. I 100% agree with you. I think that's the optimal way to play this is Xavier Thomas with Adam Randall. That is the optimal bring back. We can play that. We can play around with that for sure. That's an extra 1,700 right there. So like in that case, so Miami of Ohio, if Cam Perry plays, he's very viable at 3K. Fresno, if sorry, I'm going to cover this because somebody asked about 3K wide receiver. If Josiah Freeman is out, which he sounds like he's going to be limited at best, then I think Harold Duval is a fine pivot. So you have 2 3K options in this 330 game, which I think is very viable. And then you've got that Chris Hilton play, which I'm not going to recommend. But if you want to be very sick and very sicky like me, I have very problem there. See, you can't do that. I think it's Corey Smith. I think Corey Smith's the top option, personally. So you could, technically speaking, at this point. So you can go Lucky Sutton. Here's your 3v3 in this spot. It's Lucky Sutton, like Corey Smith or 4K, insert 4K running back with Cam Ross, right? I think it's Cam Ross, Lucky Sutton, or in my opinion, I have so much Lucky Sutton at this point that I'm going to go Adam Randall. I'm going to go BYU 4K Crapper. And I'm going to go Xavier Thomas because he's my favorite LSU wide receiver in this spot. And that's what I'm going to play. Yeah, Katron Allen's out. Shocked. Not shocked. That's where I was to start the day. So we got 3 minutes till lock. Like I said, I got to hit update on this so that I do not forget because God knows I will. Upcoming, let's see here. Do I have anything? I have a late coffin corner I got to do for a later entry. But yeah, so fun little game set here. We got 6 entries, 5 in the big boy. I probably am underweight on Mestamaker compared to where I probably should be. I knew Katron Allen would be out. I still don't have any exposure. I think Clemson wins that game pretty handily. But keep an eye on everything today. Best of luck to everybody. Thank you all for watching. Please subscribe. You don't have to like. I don't care about the begging for that. I just want subscribers. We're almost at 350. That was kind of the original goal for the year. So I appreciate it. For given that this is the first season we've been doing this, we've kind of just barely started. Pena, even if he plays, I'm not touching Pena. I wouldn't play any Penn State guys. I'm not playing. Slot wide receiver is probably going to end up being Kyle Parker, but Xavier Thomas does move around. I would say Kyle Parker's your slot wide receiver today for LSU. Yeah, he's the direct replacement, the 1-for-1 for Aaron Anderson, but Xavier Thomas, similar skill set. So I do have 2 Xavier Thomas shares and no Kyle Parker. Not that that means it's right, wrong, or indifferent. I think Kyle Parker's a viable play if you wanted to play him. I would not talk you off of Kyle Parker for sure. And then, so yeah, this is we'll share this. This is what we got on FanDuel. I once again, if you wanted to switch out one of these guys and go to the one of the Penn State or the running backs, I think those are riskier plays. I'm going to count on volume, and I'd rather pick out the cheap wide receivers. So that's the way I'm playing. Who knows, right, wrong, or indifferent. Good luck to everybody. Y'all enjoy this bowl slate, this nice 7-gamer. Really happy about it. I kind of wish they would have put the early game on it too, but then we'd kind of be tilting already, and I don't want to tilt already. So good luck, everybody. I'll be back Monday. I actually feel like I have a really good sense of where all these quarterbacks are going in the portal, which there's a lot of movement compared to last year. So best of luck to everybody. Make sure, pay attention to your lineups, pay attention to locks, set alarms, because you're going to want to know who's in and who's out. Like we just found out with that other stuff with the Katron Allen news, even though we kind of projected that. So I'm going to be right most of the time, just not all the time. I do not guarantee 100% accuracy. That's for dang sure. So good luck, everybody. Enjoy the games. And yeah, have some good food and drinks, and just don't get too salty.